Welcome back, or welcome for your first time to the Quest for Details. We are going to start right where we left off in just a second with me and my mom out in the middle of Wyoming collecting agates. And we have all of these agates that we found still to come in the rest of the episode. I had to cut it in half because it ended up being so long, but I wanted to go ahead and show you these from the first part. And they are some of the ones that you saw me collecting, and I went ahead and cut them in half with a saw. And this should help us have more of an idea of what we're actually picking up. So this one, on the inside, was that patterning that you get with a lot of these Yellowstone and Wyoming agates. Almost a white moss going on in there. Then this next one, which is, again, I'm going to call them a cloud agate or a billowy agate, you know, a Montana Yellowstone type of patterning. And there's that patterning on the inside. You can see the blue, yellow of the chalcedony, and again, the white areas, the cloud areas on these always remind me of almost a white moss. Here's our big one. I took multiple chunks off of here because there are so many different zones to it. Took off the end. You can see small dendritic growth showing up in the gray chalcedony of it. Little dendrites all around the edges, and then the cloudy formation on the inside. And I went ahead and lopped that in half, which gave us that. Kind of a milky creature. And then this end, which had the most just gray chalcedony and fine dendritic growth. And also reminded me the most of the other little chips that we're finding. There, anyhow, wanted to look inside the big one, and then the most exciting, the reason why I actually did this and wanted to start this video off. Remember, we're about to get back and continue the other half, but I held this one up and I told you it was special. Now, it was so special that I couldn't even get the saw all the way through it before I hit a natural fracture. You can see I didn't have a lot to work with, and I was trying to cut down the middle of a very skinny stone, so that's actually hard to do with a big old tile saw. But what was revealed was something more than what I was expecting. I could tell by the color that there were some things going on with this, and I knew that it was special. I held it up in the video at the first part of this. I do suggest that you watch it so that these reveals make more sense, but I could tell that this had a nice color to it. And then I cut it open. You can see it's a nodule form here. So a bubble, a void of some sort at some point, and some sort of silicate filled it in. You ready for the surprise? Okay, so I cut it in half. Here's what it looks like. You can see there's some cool things going on in there, right? And you see we have the actual agate that we came for. Well, I hope this shows up as beautiful as it actually is. You see all the... At some point there was a hole, a void, and all of this material, this is really a great example of siliceous ooze, still containing partial bits of fossil. You can see all the different fossils down in there. That's generally what is dissolving in the deep ocean waters from the high acidic water, and it dissolves most of the calcium from the seashells of all of these little micro creatures, forms the siliceous ooze. And so you can see that this form of agate, which is technically a nodule agate, but that is truly a type of chert that's just been called an agate. Is really a mixed up creature, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So let's go ahead and get back to this adventure and finish out our last stop in Wyoming here. But I made such cool discoveries, I felt like I really had to share them with you. And wow. And you could spend a long time looking at the details. Okay, my friends, let us quest on. Oh! Oh! Oh, look at that one. Yeah. Just, yeah. Come on, you're all rockhounds. That's what you want to do, is drive to some place that you haven't been before and explore around and find the goodies. We're finding the goodies. Exploring around would have been good enough. Finding the goodies, even better. Yeah, it's so easy. It's so easy. Nope, that looks like a quartz. Sorry, quartz. I don't mean to be like that, but like just someone else would love you. Okay, I have to correlate this. Make a mark where I need to come back. Let's do this just real quick. See if you see what I'm thinking here. So this is an ant hive. So the ants have brought each one of these little pebbles up and piled them. It's at the edge of the creek here and the fork in it. Doesn't that look awesome? Look at how they've... This is like their kingdom, you understand? That's an absolute just monument. And then look at all the little holes and entrances actually on the front of it. Isn't that crazy what little things can do if they just put time and effort to it? That entire cone was made by little things, and you wouldn't believe it unless you knew that it was. Isn't that crazy? See all of the pyramids out there just waiting to appear. You never know. You never know. What makes those marks? The stone is so strange. Oh! Kind of a milky brown, sard looking thing. Makes you wonder if these sards colored stuff. Look at this, another agate. Ooh. Bleed into carnelians and fires out here anywhere. You'd have to walk a bigger and bigger spiral to see if any of it was affected. Affected by other minerals that made it change colors. Finish thought, move on. Agates. Ooh. This one has the cool, like Yellowstone-like grays and oh. Oh, yeah. Yeah. With patterns on the inside. Okay. Making my day. After this, we have to get back in the car. And we have to travel. These patterns. Fluting. Oh my gosh. Look at that. So much is shining at us right here, it's crazy. Look at those. Oh, wow. Come on. It's freaking crazy. Okay. Brain spinning around. Layers of agate in there. That is another agate. What? Crazy. There are shell prints here too, but thought lost reboot. Look at this piece of agate with dendritic growth in there. Do you see that? God. That is beautiful. Never know how many more of these pieces you're gonna have that in there. We found such big chunks today. And we're gonna have to do some cutting just to see what's in there, but look in that one. So this is dendritic agate out here too. Oh, look at that one. That's got little dendrites in it. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Oh man, I wonder how many miles this goes for. I am only in this little chunk here by the car. In fact, I think we've walked in another tight spiral and found all these things I just shown you. Okay. Haven't gotten any closer to that thing. But you wouldn't if there was an agate every 3 foot. You'd just do this all day. Oh, these are actually little cactuses I'm kicking over and over. I think I have 3 little cactus spikes in my feet because I'm so oblivious. Okay, so watch out, there's cactuses out here. And no, I'm not going to stop and pick them out. There's agates. You understand if there was agates on the bottom of the ocean, they would... There might be. Boom. Translucent but shiny.
This was a nice roadside. I started finding these giant brown looking agates. They didn't have extreme clarity, but they were massive, and you could see the sun was glinting on them and they kept just showing up. And that was a massive one. This was another giant. So think polishing some of these. But for a roadside, that one could be tumbled some more. This one has the white stuff on it, but after it's tumbling, it'll have total clarity. But totally blocked in any clarity. Super fun roadside.
Just agate haven. I can't wait to send her a text and say she's worried about sending us on some goose chase. No goose chases. Pockets full of agates. Literally allowed us to do this and then move on. Oh, agate, look at the shape of that. That is a classic. Look at that. Oh my God, look at that. There's so many agates on the face of this right here. Just... Oh my God. Okay, that's all I can say. And shell imprints. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Wow. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I don't think that was an agate, that was just a coolly shaped rock. Mineral. Crystalline creature. Wondering how many of these have been affected by human beings. We appear to be on a massive game trail slash crossroads slash modern road slash pathway throughout all time. And yeah. Humans overlap, even if they are different types of humans. Their behaviors end up occurring in the same ways, at the same places, even if they don't realize it. We tend to repeat. Big, beautiful dendritic agate right there. You can see the dendrites in it. Dendritic, I believe, is Latin for plant-like. So it's not plants, but anything that you see that looks like a plant-like structure, whether it's a moss agate or anything that represents a plant to you, in the rock world can be referred to as dendritic. That's just what that means. It's a way of saying rock with plant-like growth.
This roadside stop for these brown agates. These were some of the biggest ones I've ever saw. The sun did glint off them a little bit. I kept finding bigger and bigger ones, which drew me further over the edge. This is my biggest, I think. And there's more that could be done with it. It could be tumbled and have some clarity. This one is huge. It's also an agate. So I'm thinking of slicing the sky. But the sun did come out that day, and I just kept finding, I did find some clearer ones. I just kept hunting and hunting. The ones that had all the white stuff off had super clarity.
This is another agate. This one's a little bit darker, but it might have all kinds of, it's also dirtier and it's got its rind on it still, so it might have all kinds of things going on with it. Lucky to find it, lucky to have it. Oh, that's the top of an agate right there, you can see. It's got It's got that blue rinding around its conchoidal disc, fracturing of its overall surface. That's what its natural rind looks like. This is something else, but it's cool. It's like a quartz or super milky agate, but it's broken. Kind of got like a marbling to it. Okay, our time here and our time in the state is quickly coming to its end. So that is the way a quest goes. This was the treasures and the encounters that we had in this zone. I hope that you enjoyed it. We are moving on down the road. There are so many videos before it in this little series, and over 1,000 in on the main channel's homepage. So feel free to watch any of those that you would be inclined to. Feel free to hit the like button if you think anything I'm doing here is cool. I appreciate it. Supports the channel. Subscribing is the ultimate bonus. Love gathering up my subscribers. Love when you guys stay with me. For those who have and those who are, I appreciate you so much. I watch the numbers grow. I get a really big thrill out of that and feel heavily appreciated. So thank you, and I'm going to continue doing this. And yeah, we're about to wrap it up here. One more gigantea here. It's hard to get the light to pass through it. It's a big old thing. It's broken like there and there. Oh wow. Something's going on with that. Probably right at the end here. We're gonna find big old chunks of rocks and fossils all over them. As we have to go. But as a curse of being an explorer, also the fun. Very, very much the fun. Is this our same hagstone or is this a different one? We are wandering in circles, people. We gotta go. Right after the next one, we will. Okay.
Yay for the roadside stops. This agate was massive. Had clarity. I think I'm going to cut and polish this guy. Almost as big as the palm of my hand. You could see some hadn't been tumbled higher up away from the water line they were. And they all had, the ones you couldn't see had the white chalk-like material on them. But as the sun came out that day, I started finding the ones that already had the white stuff knocked off. The littler they got, the more clarity they had. Later on, we went further down the watershed. It's like he had fire inside. And the quest goes on. Thank you, Wyoming.
Battery is literally dying on me. There is one more massive chunk. We're almost to the car. I can't believe how big my pockets are, full of agates. Thank you for joining me on the quest. See you at the next location, hopefully. With the last of my time and the last of my battery, we are coming over here. There's actually a road that comes out here. And this is the donut that I can see from above. And this is where that structure was. And this goes down. This must have been their driveway. No, it's a pipe. See the pipe sticking up, and then it goes across, and it goes in here, and there's a big old pond here. No, look, it's a big old pipe, and oh, Mom! It's water. It's a spring. It's a spring. And that's a pond right there that they've made out of it. And I'm gonna touch it and make sure it's not warm. They were, but look inside there. It's a spring.
Oh, it sure is.
That's beautiful. So we did that too. And then this was their valves, and they were pumping, and then that goes up. And then ran somewhere. Oh, maybe train.
Yeah.
Train, steam.
Yeah.
This is probably steam stop from back in the day. Transcontinental ran right along this, right?
Yeah.
You know, so this was probably for steam. And then I bet you out there was one of the water towers where the engine would stop and you would fill up. That's how steam engines worked. Remember, not just coal, but they had to fill up and stop and fill water. And those would be those big things in cowboy movies where they jump off the top of the train and there's that pipe that's hanging out with the downspout and they swing around on it and then they land on the top of the train again, you know? This is what that led to, so. And look, it was the old wood, and yeah, this is probably railroad. Look how it's built. Look at these, boom, 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 constructed the whole thing. Probably did this all the way along, and then there would be.
Metal detect this whole site, might find something.
And there's.
This grassy knoll, something.
Oh
right
yeah.
there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and they would have stopped the train every time to fill up its water tanks and stuff.
There you go.
And this was their little road down to the pond.
There's
3 ponds. Well, there you go. Yeah, that might have been, the ponds might have been after for the cattle, but I have a really strong suspicion that that was for the railroad, the way it runs towards where the highway is. And they had to have that. They had to have coal depots and water towers along the way, otherwise they ran out of water and blew up. So, yeah, there'd be new garbage, but that is awesome. You can see where it transferred, and we are not going to detect it. It's actually some sort of public land, but it would be fun. Would be fun. Also, looking through these rocks that they dug out to make these ponds would be a good idea. Okay, we're gonna hit the road. That, my friends, was the last detail. So there would have been a tower out there. The train would pull up. The water spout would fill up its little tanks, its big tanks. And that would be the water which it used to create steam to run its engine when the coal was burning. That's my assumption, that's my best guess. It's also what it's saying to me. Lots of rocks.
I wish I could leave my skin behind in this old rented room, float my way across the great divide and be buried in you. I've been looking far and wide for what I gotta prove, and putting peaks in my rear view.